While we've got some downtime here on stream, feel free to interrupt at any point if you guys want to make any offers on group break spots or buy any personals. But I do want to do some basketball talk because there's some fun basketball over the weekend and a lot of good players stepping up, and I want to talk about a couple games. So, first and foremost, shout out to my Golden State Warriors, man. 128 to 117 win over the Nuggets. I got to watch this entire game. My biggest takeaways are that, man, I'm worried about Denver. And what am I worried about Denver specifically? I'm worried about their perimeter shooting. And I'm worried about the guys that they brought in in the offseason. I want to talk about it. For specifically Cam Johnson.
Jokic, 35, 20, and 12.
And they lost. Cam Johnson is by far having the worst year of his NBA career so far, in my opinion. 11 points per game, really since his first couple of years when he was coming off the bench in Phoenix. Since he's become a full-time starter, I would say this is one of his worst years. Now, statistically, he is shooting 42% from three. But his defense, his off-ball ability, his real ability to be a threat on the floor just has not been there. And they're going to really need him with Aaron Gordon missing the time that he has as of recent, and the inconsistencies from guys like Julian Strawther, Tim Hardaway Jr., while Peyton Watson's been out with injury. They really need him to step up, specifically in this Warriors game. He played really, really bad minutes. I just was disappointed, and whenever I saw him on the court, just really non-existent overall. And then I got to give credit to the MVP of this one. Brandon Posemski started this game 1 for 9 from the field and then shot 6 of 6 in the fourth quarter. 18 points, 15 rebounds, absolutely crashed in the glass. Looked like Andrew Wiggins back in 2022 out there. 9 assists. He was, running and dishing. Shout out to Al Horford, though, for getting us going early on in this game. 22 points on Jokic. He was 5 for 6 from 3, finished the game 6 of 7. Fantastic game from Big Al Horford with Porzingis right before this game happening, being reportedly sick, so he was not able to make the game. Al Horford came right in and stepped up in a big way. 22 points, 7 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Defensively, we were all over the place. My favorite Warrior this whole season has to be the DeAnthony Melton. He's been so good for the Warriors, even when his shot's not falling. He's been such an impact player. Love me some DeAnthony Melton, but there are some concerns I have for the Nuggets moving forward that I'm interested to see what their rotation and health looks like come playoff time, and then really seeing if they're at full strength, they can beat anyone. But if they're not, just a couple pieces might be the difference maker in a 7-game series. This was a very sought-after game that happened on Sunday. Thunder at Cavaliers. Now the Thunder with no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is officially just a couple games away from being eliminated from award talks, which is very interesting because then we're going to really have a conversation of who's going to win the MVP award between guys like Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, Luka Doncic. There's a lot of players that are going to be in the running that are not the top guys, the Shays, the Jokic, the Giannis. They're not making it because of the 65-game minimum. But the Thunder came out in this game and immediately started shooting the ball really well. As you can see, they shot over 50% from 3, which really showcases the main weakness in Cleveland, which is, who would have thought James Harden and Donovan Mitchell can't guard a lick defensively. Even bringing in a guy like Keon Ellis off the bench, Dennis Schroeder off the bench, it's not the defensive impact you want to have in the perimeter. It still worries me about how Cleveland's going to look, but I will say Cleveland played a heck of the rest of the game. They really struggled in that first quarter shooting the ball, but I thought they really kept themselves in it for the rest of the game. But the defensive switchability when Cason Wallace is in the game, Cason Wallace, iHeart, playing absolutely perfect offensively for this Thunder team. Chet, stretching the floor, crashing the boards, exactly what you could ask for. Bench production from guys like Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich Williams. This OKC team looks very, very good, and especially when Shai comes back. We know that they're the favorites to win the championship, but
how many games has he missed?
I think he's only 4 games away from missing out on that 65-game minimum, so a lot of games. But I think it's interesting to look at a guy like Cason Wallace. Cason's going to get paid in a couple of years. This is a guy that, I know it only says, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. This is a guy that, be on the lookout in the next couple of years, is going to get upwards of probably $25, $30 million contract. If the Thunder are not going to be able to pay him, there's going to be a team, a lower-end team that's going to throw a lot of money at Cason Wallace's way. For his defensive impact, his playmaking ability, his defense, he's a really, really good all-around player. And he just feels like one of those guys that when it comes time to pay everyone, he's going to be one of those odd men out. Lastly, my shout out for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I got to talk about Jared McCain. He has increased his points every single game since getting to OKC, except for last game against the Cavs. But he's just gotten more and more efficient. He's looked better in this offense. I watched the highlights of Jared McCain. Looks like Klay Thompson out there, man. He'll pass the ball. He'll dump it off. He'll run to the other corner. He'll get the ball back, and then he'll pass it again, run to the other side. This dude is never stops moving without the ball in his hands. And if you're the Thunder, what more could you ask for than a shooter that doesn't stop moving in that offense? It's scary hours in OKC. A couple other players that have been really impressing me as of recently. I got to talk about Emmanuel quickly, finally living up to his contract. He got signed like a 5-year, $160 million contract a couple years ago. And a lot of people looked very, confused by that contract. Emmanuel quickly has been very, very good as of recent. 17, 4, and 6 on the season, but like 32 points the other night, carrying them to the win over Milwaukee, even with Kevin Porter Jr. having a fantastic game. Emmanuel quickly playing very, very good basketball for Toronto, and I think a guard, right? That was the big thing. I looked at the Raptors going into the trade deadline. I said a Ja Morant, a LaMelo Ball, a Trae Young could increase the ceiling of that team. But if Emmanuel quickly is just going to be a part of the team and doing that kind of numbers, that's exactly what you want from the point guard position. Shout out to Chris Middleton. He just led the team in scoring in a win. I just think it's funny to say Chris Middleton's leading a team in scoring in a win in 2026, especially after all the injuries he's been through. He had an efficient game against Indiana. Not much to say about this game, but
good way to tank.
Exactly. I love Chris Middleton. I hope that he finds his way onto a championship contending team in the next couple of years.
You think how many years do you think he has left?
Probably only like 2 or 3. That's why I hope he finds his way onto a end of rotation bench guy. But he'll be a clutch scorer, and he'll be one of those closing guys. He'll be like a PJ Tucker role.
I disagree. Shake and toboggans need to be used much more.
Interesting, Shaken.
Actually, yeah, let's check in. Guys, you have any toboggans over there?
The Charlotte Hornets beat the Washington Wizards behind their big three of Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, and Con Knipple. Fantastic game for the starting lineup of the Charlotte Hornets. Not much else to say, but the Hornets continue to, find wins over and over. Blowout win for the Celtics over the Lakers.
Yeah!
This absolutely showed the weaknesses of the Lakers between their interior defense being terrible with DeAndre Ayton and their perimeter defense being even worse between Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves.
Done. Marcus Smart, it's all over.
Jaylen Brown, if you see this game, they shot 36 threes. Peyton Pritchard had an absolutely efficient game. Half of these plays, by the way, were isolation.
Listen, I saw a lot of white-on-white crime in this game. Peyton Pritchard, Austin Reeves, and Luka. Oh, my God. When he got them on an island.
It was over.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely over. But good win for the Boston Celtics. That takes them to doubling their losses, 37-19. Keeps him as the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference.
Without Jason Tatum, the Celtics are the number 2 seed. Watch out if he gets healthy. Watch out. You know what I realized with this game? You're 100. The Lakers have massive. This Lakers team's no different than they've been the last few years. They might trade. They made this trade for Doncic and all this other stuff. They might win a round in the playoffs. They might. They're not winning multiple. This team's not winning multiple rounds in the playoffs.
No, I think they know that their time with LeBron coming to an end is up. I mean, you got to remember if it was
out of there before the season ended.
If it was a year ago though, before the Luka trade, we'd be looking at this team so much worse than thinking at least they have Luka Doncic to build around for the next 8 years.
No. But it's not happening this year.
It's not happening this year. I completely agree.
Where are they in the?
I believe they're the 5 seed right now. The big rumor right now coming out of the Lakers is that are they going to make a huge offer that includes Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect, and young pieces to go try and get Giannis in the offseason and pair Luka and Giannis? That's the big rumor going on in LA right now. Because technically a team like Milwaukee might look at Austin Reeves and say he might be the best asset out of all the players that they could get in a Giannis trade. Reeves is a 28-point per game scorer with no Luka on the court, so
he's a good player.
If Milwaukee values him that much, what are LeBron's pregame dances where he throws the ball up? And that's LeBron for you, man. He's a 41-year-old child or 42-year-old child at this point. And he admits that. He says that out loud. Why would you be? He's been playing a kid's game for over half his life. 76ers beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 135-108. Good win for the Sixers. Shout out to Quentin Grimes off the bench, showcasing why they traded Jared McCain. But outside of that, you look at this bench, terrible, absolutely terrible production between guys like Cam Payne, Jabari Walker. No bench unit. That's why they have to play these guys upwards of 40 minutes a night in that starting lineup. I do love what Philly is. I love their defensive, impact in this game, but I'm still worried, shaken about that bench unit when it comes later into the playoffs. And as for the Timberwolves, who would have thought? No Rudy Gobert. All of a sudden, the Timberwolves defense, terrible.
Yep.
I mean, you guys want to talk about defensive impact, defensive player of the year, all that good stuff. If Wemby's not going to be your defensive player of the year, you're seeing the Sixers drop 135 points with Andre Drummond as their starting center. You want to know why? Because they were able to attack the paint and just get open, driving kicks all day long on this Minnesota defense. Embiid's still dealing with some knee injuries. He's been on and off wrestling.
Man, all that talk we were getting a couple weeks ago, how he's finally healthy and that knee surgeon needs to be, what happened with that?
Good win for Orlando over the Clippers. The Clippers continuing to find rhythm with Benedict Mathurin coming off the bench. Benedict Mathurin continues to look better and better, but this Magic team close out the game. It's kind of funny to think that really Desmond Bane has by far been the best member of the Orlando Magic this year. If you would have told everyone, after trading the 4 first-round picks, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Desmond Bane has been by far the best Magic.
Been underwhelming this year, huh? I watched some of his things all the last couple of days. When they played against the Celtics last year, and the Celtics beat them in the first round, I thought Banchero played great. I thought this was going to be the year he was going to, it was going to be his coming out party as a superstar. Not the case.
Not the case. Now, his efficiency's been really rough.
He's not even scoring.
His three-point shooting has been abysmal. His playmaking has not been there. He's still a very solid player. He's kind of like
bad shots, too. We looking at it.
He's the modern-day Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah,
I hate to say, he's the modern-day Melo. And then last night, we got some really, really exciting games, specifically Spurs, Pistons. This was a big statement win for the Spurs going into Detroit and taking down the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, mind you, the Pistons fully healthy in this one, basically, other than Isaiah Stewart, who's still suspended on his 7-game suspension. But outside of that, Pistons fully healthy. And Jalen Duren had a good game, but my MVP of this game, it's not going to show up on the stat sheet. You're probably going to look at Devin Vassell with his 28 points or Wemby with his 21 and 17 and say they had the best games. I watched probably, 47 minutes of this game that happened. By far most impressive player on the court was Stephon Castle. Not only is Stephon Castle running the full offense
along De'Aaron Fox. Dude,
I love this guy. I watched him run the offense, run a pick and roll with Wemby, fake the pass to Wemby where both defenders bit. He has an easy layup. He takes the layup and he took 2 steps back from where he took the layup and guarded Cade Cunningham 94 feet down the court the next way, forced Cade Cunningham into a terrible mid-range jumper late in the shot clock, get the ball back, walk down the court, pick and roll with Wemby, leads to a wide-open corner 3 for Vassell. I mean, everything about the way this dude plays basketball. He's a big guard. He's a defender. He'll pick you up 94 feet. He's a playmaker. He's a rebounder. He knows how to find his teammates.
He'll swat your mess, too, if you think you're going to take it up against him, too.
Oh, my God. I love me some Stephon Castle, especially against who I've been saying is the best player in the Eastern Conference this season in Cade Cunningham.
2 for 9.
5 for 26 from the field. And a lot of those were his normal, pull-up, step-back, mid-range shots. He just wasn't hitting them because mainly Stephon Castle and Julian Champagnie were all over him defensively. So impressed with the defensive impact for the San Antonio Spurs over the Pistons in this one. Good game for Ron Holland, though, off the bench. I got to give credit to the Pistons for bench players because I've been on their bench all season long for saying where's their production going to come? Where's their offensive production when Asar Thompson's on the court, when Cade's off the court, what's going to happen? Ron Holland's starting to find his way as a player. I will continue to say if a team like the Clippers or a team that didn't have a lot of, young players, Ron Holland is a guy I would take a chance on. He is a guy I would take a chance on. If you're the Milwaukee Bucks in a Giannis trade, if you're the Clippers in a Kawhi trade in the offseason, if the Pistons become buyers after a disappointing Eastern Conference Finals loss or something, I would consider both sides making a positive impact for Ron Holland, trading Ron Holland away and another team allowing him to go. I like what I'm seeing out of him. He's not a three-point shooter, but because of this Pistons offense, he tends to come in for Tobias Harris and have to be the shot creator. And God, the more I watch Tobias Harris play basketball, the more I think to myself, that trade that I drew up at the trade deadline to bring Kawhi Leonard to the Pistons, how different we'd be talking about the Detroit Pistons if they had Kawhi Leonard at that 4 versus Tobias Harris, because Tobias Harris just continues to underperform more and more and more. And then lastly, I do want to talk a little bit about, I got to catch this this Rockets Jazz game. The Jazz, Bryce Sensabaugh continues to play well, but with no Keontae George and no big man play with Yusuf Nurkic being out, they were no matchup for the rebounding in Houston. 53 rebounds to 36 over the Jazz. And shout out to Jabari Smith Jr. for having his most efficient game. He continues to look more like Rashard Lewis. I swear to God, every time I turn him on and I watch his corner threes, he's really just a 3-and-D power forward, which is really funny to say, but he really is. I mean, 3 steals, 3 blocks, 9 rebounds, 31 points, 0 assists, 12 assists for Kevin Durant. You know it's bad when Kevin Durant needs to get you 12 assists. That's all I'm going to say. When KD's your main playmaker, it just tells you have no offensive point guard play. I will continue to talk about Amen Thompson. I love his development as a shooting guard and in the dunker spot and as a perimeter defender. But as a point guard, it really worries me about the Rockets, specifically if they have to go up against teams like the San Antonio Spurs with Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox, the Thunder with Cason Wallace and Shea, the Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray, Peyton Watson, Christian Braun, Julian Strawther, the Timberwolves after bringing in Ayo Dosunmu. Even a team like the Warriors, right? I could see if the Warriors get to face off against the Rockets. I know the Rockets will beat us in rebounding, but our fast pace running around the court and Podziemski running around doing whatever he does, it might come back and haunt that Rockets team. Now, mind you, no Fred VanVleet, obviously due to injury, is going to hurt them, but interested to see what happens with the Rockets come playoff time. And that's kind of my NBA talk for right now. If we're going to the standings, the Pistons still hold a 5-game lead. But the Cavaliers have now jumped the Toronto Raptors since we last talked basketball. Cavs jumped up to the 4 seed, getting right close into that Celtics and Knicks range for that 2 through 3 seed. And then in the Western Conference, Minnesota continues to fall. Lakers continue to fall back. You got these 4 teams right here. Is going to be really interesting to see who gets the home court advantage in the playoffs between the Rockets, Nuggets, Lakers, and Timberwolves. But it seems like this 7 through 10 is firmly secured for the play-in teams in the Western Conference. And another thing to look out for, if hypothetically Shea comes back and misses a couple more games, interested to see if the Spurs could possibly jump the Thunder for the number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
What's going on with games tonight?
Kind of interesting. Tonight we got some good games.
Dallas and Brooklyn.
Yeah, Dallas and Brooklyn. Oh boy, Thunder Raptors. This is gonna be a good game. I can't wait to see the Thunder with their
Knicks,
2
Cavs.
big lineup against the Raptors and their switchability game. But yeah, this is the big game of the night. Knicks at Cleveland. Winner of this game should take the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. Cleveland is favored by 4.5. We got to see a big Karl-Anthony Towns game. If the Knicks want to win, it's going to be on Karl-Anthony Towns' back. Heat Bucks. This is a good game. I mean, Miami favored, but I think that's going to be a fine game. Celtics, Suns. I expect the Celtics to win, but
Celtics.
you know
Phoenix is way better. I thought Phoenix was going to be terrible.
And Phoenix
this
is
year.
one of those teams that I swear they always play better against the better teams and worse against the worst teams. They always match up against their opponents. And then Timberwolves, Blazers. Don't be surprised if the Blazers upset the Timberwolves. That's my hot take of the day is Trailblazer upset. And then Magic, Lakers is a great game to end the night. And then this Hornets Bulls game, don't sleep on the Bulls either. Bulls at home love to play those mid-tier teams always really well. But good games on tonight. My Warriors better beat the Pelicans or I'll lose my mind. And there you go. There's our basketball talk for the day.
Yeah!
Let's do our current jump shot NBA game to see who is shooting that jumper.
Someone with an afro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing someone with an afro, a nice little jumper there.
Who that afro belong to?
Let's see. I'm going to take my first guess, and I'm going to say that's Max Christie of the Dallas Mavericks. That'll be my first shot in the dark. Okay. Not that far off. Southwest guy.
American.
Who also wears number 0. Kind of
For this
interesting.
life I cannot change.
Interesting. So
Deeper than a man.
Southwest.
M&M's. Sweet like candy cane.
Spurs, Rockets.
He's back. He's back.
Spurs, Rockets, Grizzlies, Mavericks, and Pelicans. Oh, you know what?
Thoughts on this year's Pelicans team?
Jeremiah Fears. No, it is Jeremiah Fears. Cool. That is Jeremiah Fears. Rookie Jeremiah Fears. I knew he wore number 0. Point guard, young point guard, Jeremiah Fears. 7th overall pick from this past NBA draft.
Tell me I'm on the wrong line.
And lastly, let's do our start bench cuts. Ooh, Alpi, Jaren, and Vucevic. Well, Vucevic is getting cut. It's really who I would prefer between Alperen Sengun and Jaren Jackson Jr.
I think I'll take Triple J.
It's pretty close, depending on if you like the playmaking of Sengun versus the defensive Triple J. But I think I agree. I think I'm low-key going to take Triple J. 54% of people are taking Sengun over Triple J.
I like Jackson. I like him down low, just playing D. Especially if you have other good players. I look at this as if you already have a good team.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't get me wrong, Sengun's a good. I like him, but I'm like, if you already have a good team with like gods that are doing what they're supposed to do, I would want Jackson down there.
I'd like the defensive impact of Triple J, especially his defense, stretchability. I know he's a way worse rebounder and playmaker than Sengun, but from the center position, I think your ceiling is lower with a guy like Sengun. Ooh, if we're going all in their prime, all at the best version of themselves.
Going Iverson. It's Iverson and Payton.
See, I think I'm cutting Payton. I'm
No.
Westbrook.
You know,
I'm starting
defensive
AI.
player of the year? No way. I get Russell Westbrook out of there.
Yeah,
Russell Westbrook out of there.
I think about that Westbrook specifically that MVP year, and I'd probably take that MVP year over. It's close. It's a weird one. I'll stick with this as mine and move on. If we're going off of this year, because we've still yet to see DeJounte Murray play basketball, Norman Powell and Tyler Hero. Pretty simple there. Trae Young, Marbury, and Tyrese Halliburton.
Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, everybody better agree with that.
You take
No
Stephon
way.
Marbury over Trae Young?
Yes, absolutely.
I want to look at.
Absolutely.
Let's look up Marbury's best year stats.
Absolutely.
Marbury in his best season was All-NBA third
Absolutely.
team, averaging 22 and 8. I'm probably taking Trae Young over that. I can't
No
lie.
way.
I probably am. Yeah, Trae Young was All-NBA second player,
Yeah, but
averaging.
you can score like that. Marbury would have scored much more points in today's game if he played. I would have taken Marbury, but I mean you kind of get a bit of a distraction. Put it this way, Halliburton is levels over both of them.
Levels over both of them. Oh, another good one here. Stockton, Nash, and Kidd. We're going back to the point guard route. It is tough. I just love me some prime Steve Nash. I love prime Steve Nash. I think he was so good at handling the ball with 7 seconds or left offense, along with his. I think he's the best shooter here, and I think he's the best fast-paced floor generator here. So because of that, in today's modern day, I'd take Steve Nash. It's so close between these two. Both of them took them to the finals. Number one, I guess number 2 option here, number 1 option here. So I'll slightly go like this. Most people are starting John Stockton.
Yeah, I think I would probably go Stockton. I think over both of them as well.
Really? I don't know. That's so close.
I'm like Nash. Don't get me wrong. Nash was. I'm thinking of Steve Nash like late Dallas years and then those Suns years.
Yeah.
He was really good, but I mean Stockton was. The longevity is up there. Then
The
Kidd,
longevity is the big part.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Kidd got his team to the.
Kid's got his defense too. Kid's
Yeah.
probably the best defender here in terms of
In all
just straight up
respect to,
defense.
they got there, but I thought that was when the Eastern Conference at its absolute weakest when
Sure.
Jason Kidd got him to the finals.
All right, Jason Tatum, Amari Stoudemire, Jalen Brunson. Well, I'm definitely starting Tatum between Amari and Brunson. I mean, I'll just go with who I think is the
How the hell
better
are you gonna
number 1
compare,
option.
though?
But
That's-
yeah, that's a terrible one. Tatum, clear best player here, though. That's all that needs to be known. This one's pretty easy. Jokic, Shea Harden. If we're going
Even at their absolute peaks.
at
it
their
stays
peaks,
that way.
it stays this way. Right now, it stays this way.
At their lows,
Shea,
it stays that way.
yeah, right. Let's see. Ja Morant, LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Maxey. I'm going to go Tyrese, LaMelo, Ja. LaMelo just dropped a 40-point, basically triple-double the other day, so I got to give credit to LaMelo there. And Ja Morant, you still have not been playing basketball. Ooh, big body, big men. Let's see who we got here. Rasheed Wallace, DeMontis Sabonis, and Zebo. I'm probably going to start Sabonis.
I'm going Rasheed.
You're going to go Rasheed over both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, most
I'm
people are going Rasheed.
Wallace.
Most people are benching or cutting Sabonis entirely.
Yeah,
That's
I would
interesting.
agree with Rasheed and then Zach Randolph and then see you later Sabonis.
I think Sabonis is too good of a playmaker and offensive generator over these two guys. I see what you're coming from, but I gotta give
Rasheed could
respect
score
to
though.
Sabonis.
Rasheed Wallace could score baskets.
This one's a pretty easy one for me if we're going all in order. There you go. I'd go KG, Kawhi, Kyrie if we're going in order there. And that's going to be our start bench cut. Let's do our blind tier list. Let's see the category. We're looking at Kentucky guys. Kentucky guys. Well, Tyler Hero, you're probably at the bottom. I'd put Julius Randle a tier above Tyler Hero all time. PJ Washington definitely at the bottom. Rondo is a clear tier above Julius Randle all time, in my opinion. I'd throw John Wall in that same tier as
Let's
Rondo.
see.
Case and Wallace, you just haven't done enough yet. Keldon, you haven't done enough. Boogie, that's tough. I really would probably put Boogie over probably both these guys in their prime, but I don't hate putting Boogie there. Anthony Davis, I'm probably going to have to put AD on top, and then Tyrese Maxey here. That's actually not that bad of a list. Let's see what it gives us on our score. Take 85. Yeah, I think Anthony Davis is the best player here. I'd probably go AD, Boogie, Rondo.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Maxey, Wall, Randall. I think I got my bottom though, which is that's impressive. We never get the bottom right on that one. Then we'll do our blind 2. This is ranking duos. I mean, Ginobili and Duncan. That's a great one. I'm leaning 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to go 3 here though. Anthony and Iverson, I'll put them lower in like 4 or 5 range. Go 5.
Yeah, I think 5.
Jordan and Pippen will be number 1. Stoudemire and Nash.
No, they can't be.
I got to
above
put
that.
them right in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
Murray and Aaron Gordon. Oh, I wish that was Murray and Jokic. It would have been perfect
Then it
right
would've
here.
been.
I'll put them at the bottom, and then Wemby and Fox, I got to go there. It's not terrible. I'm not mad at it. I would have probably put Ginobili here, Stoudemire, Nash, but Jordan Pippen at the top. We definitely got that right. And then lastly, keep for cut for our favorite one, Clyde Drexler. Hall of Famer. Got to keep Clyde. Are we keeping Clyde over Melo? I think I have to.
Yeah, get him. Yeah,
Get Melo out of here. Andrew Wiggins, get him out of here. Sean Marion, gotta cut him. If we cut
I think
Melo,
so.
Dominique, I'll keep Dominique. I don't hate that. Brandon Ingram, gotta cut Bi. So that's gonna leave us with Tatum and
Yeah, it's fine.
prime Gordon Hayward. I mean, I should have kept Melo. All things considered, should have kept Melo, and that would have been perfect if I just kept Melo. But prime Gordon Hayward, don't disrespect no prime Gordon Hayward. He was nasty in Utah, and what could have been if he never got injured in Game 1 with the Boston Celtics. But
I still remember being devastated when he missed the game winner against Duke in the national championship. I love that Butler team with Brad Stevens.
that's going to do it for our basketball talk of the day. Exciting games on tonight. We got to see how the rest of this, post All-Star break goes, because this is where the tanking teams tank the most, and the top teams really, really, really fight.
Hockey Collector, baby!
For
Hockey
the top
Collector
teams there.
wins